Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Those of you who are longtime OG subscribers to my channel probably remember a series I did called Women Talk Wednesday. And even though it's been a few years since I did a video for that series, I still get requests like to this day asking me to bring it back. And I don't think I want to specifically bring Women Talk Wednesday back. I don't want to be like restricted to just posting on any particular day of the week. I mean, we all know how I am when it comes to schedules. But I do miss doing those videos. So basically I would just like pick a topic, just life stuff, and I would just sit and talk and share my opinion, and we would like get a conversation going in the comments, and it was just fun, like girl talk. And I want to start doing that again. Like I miss that. I miss just sitting down and talking with you guys. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. I don't know if I should actually like make a series out of it and give it a title, or what I should do. I don't know. Let me know what you think. And also let me know if there's any specific topics you want me to talk about. But in today's video, as you can tell by the title, I'm gonna be talking about my breakup. Again, those of you who have been around for a while, I'm sure remember that I was in a very long relationship. We were together for almost 8 years, 7.5, 8 years. And it's something that I never talked about anywhere on any social media. So today I just want to talk about it, not to like spill the tea and get into all the juicy details. There's not even any juicy details. Nothing exciting happened. There was no malicious anything. No one cheated or did anything crazy, but I just want to share my experience going through the breakup, like the time leading up to the breakup, what was going on in my head mentally, the breakup itself, after the breakup, and just like, you know, afterwards being single and trying to figure out my life and who I am. Because I just know that a couple years ago when I was going through all of this, I would have loved to have a video like this to watch. Like all I wanted was just someone to relate to and to know like, okay, other people feel this way too, and it's not just me. So yeah, hopefully someone will relate to this. And maybe this will be like the sign that you've been looking for. I was with my ex-boyfriend, like I said, for almost 8 years, which is a pretty long time. He was my first boyfriend ever. Well, not my first boyfriend. I had like boyfriends in high school and middle school, but they only lasted like a couple of months, and we never really saw each other outside of school, and it was like not really anything serious. You know what I mean? He was my first like serious boyfriend, like real, true, committed relationship. We were friends for several years, and then we started dating right after I turned 17. So the summer of my junior year of high school. So I was young when we started dating, and he's not dead. He is a year older than me. So he had just graduated high school, and the first year of our relationship, like he went to college locally, so I was still in high school. We got to see each other pretty often the first year, and then I went away to college, and then we were 2 hours apart from each other. So we kind of did like a long distance thing. We only would see each other on the weekends here and there, and then of course during like winter and summer breaks and stuff like that. And then after we had been together for 6 years, we moved in together finally. And we only made it like a year and a half living together before things ended. And this is why I highly, highly suggest to people to move in. Like I truly believe that you should move in with someone before you get married or, you know, decide to commit your whole life to them, because you really don't know. Like I thought I knew. I thought this is good, we're great, we're best friends, we get along so well, like we do things the same way, we like to keep our house the same way, this is gonna be amazing. I couldn't wait to move in with him. Literally day one I was like, oh shit, this sucks. But I thought, well, maybe it's just a phase. Like we both were under a lot of stress. It also was like both of our first times. Like I had obviously went away, like I said, to college, so I lived with roommates, and I like lived out of my parents' house already before at that point, but this was my first time like in my own apartment and my first time living with my boyfriend, and this was his first time living away from home ever. So you know, it was just like kind of stressful and it was a big change and there was a lot to adjust to. So I just thought, okay, that's all that it is. And then as time went on, it just didn't get any better. And if anything, it got worse. And I don't know, like it just felt like we never were on the same page. We never wanted to do the same things. We didn't like the same things. And it just felt like a very resentful type of situation. Honestly, for a good year, I was contemplating ending things, but I was so terrified because that was all I had ever known. This was my first and only real relationship, and all of like the doubt and confusion I was feeling, I didn't know like, well, is this normal? Is this what all couples go through after a certain point? Is this just what it's like all the time? And mind you too, like my parents don't really have the best relationship. Like they're still together technically, but like I've never been around a couple that's like really in love and like very affectionate towards each other and happy, you know? Like the only type of relationship I've been exposed to growing up was like a lot of fighting and just bickering and not getting along and resentment and, you know, anger, whatever. So I had nothing to compare it to really. And I was like, well, I don't know, maybe this is normal. And what if I break up with him and then I realize like, oh my God, I'm not gonna find anything better. Or every relationship is gonna end up being like this. What if I'm just being super picky, you know? Like he's a nice person, he treats me well for the most part. He's not like abusive towards me, so maybe I should just like stop being a brat and just like settle and be cool. And then, you know, you question because he also was the only person that I had ever been with like intimately as well, you know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like, oh, am I missing out? Like what? I don't know, like the thought of only ever being with one person for my whole entire life, not, okay, that might sound bad. It's not like, oh, I want to like fuck a whole bunch of guys. No, that's not what I mean. But it's like, just never having any type of experience with anyone else. It's like, well, how do I know that I'm not more compatible with somebody else, you know? I feel like you don't really know what you have if you don't have something else to compare it to. And I'm not just talking about sex, like I just mean in general, like the relationship as a whole. And I was just scared too because it was like the thought of having to meet somebody new. First of all, what if I don't ever find anybody else, you know? Like how do people meet each other anymore? Like everybody's just online dating and everyone's like trying to just hook up and have one night stands, and like I'm not interested in that, and like that terrifies me. Dating terrifies me because I never experienced dating, especially as an adult. And like the idea of having to get to know somebody new and like them learn all of these things about me that my boyfriend already knows, and then having to get to know all these things about somebody else. And then what if like you spend all that time dating and getting to know a person and then it turns out that like you don't really like them that much or you're not that compatible with them either. It's just like, oh my God. And at this point I was 24. Yeah. So I also felt like, well, if I want to like settle down and get married and start having kids and all that, like it's kind of a little late in the game to like start fresh and like, you know, start dating again and have to meet somebody new and go through this whole entire process. So it just felt like a big risk and there was like a lot at stake. And then I thought like, well, what if I end things and then I end up changing my mind or regretting it and then it's too late and it's ruined and he doesn't want to take me back. And then logistically too, like we had a lease, we had an apartment together. My name was on it too. Like, what's gonna happen then if we break up? Like, what are we gonna do with the apartment? Am I gonna have to stay there till the lease is up? Like, that's really awkward. And I don't know, like, I just felt so alone. And I also just felt so guilty even thinking these things. There were just so many moments where I just felt like something was missing. I just felt unhappy. And again, not because he was a bad person, not because he treated me badly, but just because, I don't know, we would go places, like we'd be on vacation and you'd think like, okay, you're on vacation as a couple, like this should be a great time. You should be really enjoying each other and wanting to go do all these things together. And we'd be there and just not want to do the same things, and we would just be annoying the shit out of each other because our personalities are just so different. It was frustrating, and I would often just think to myself, like, what would it be like to be with someone who's more like me, who's more spontaneous, who's more go with the flow and like easygoing, and someone who wants to just go do like crazy things with me, and who likes the same kind of music as me, and who likes the same type of food as me. And it was just really frustrating. I felt like if I wanted to truly really enjoy the things that I like, I would have to do it alone, and that sucks. Like, I wanted to be able to enjoy that with my partner. Another thing too, being in that relationship, like, I got to a point where I was just so dependent on him for a lot of things, and particularly when it came to like going places and driving, especially. Like, anytime I had to go anywhere, he always had to come with me because I was like terrified of going places alone and of like having to drive myself. Like, I always had him drive me everywhere. And that's a shitty feeling because like I always, for the most part growing up, was like a pretty independent person. And I just realized that I got to a point somewhere along the line where I really like lost my independence, and I lost my sense of self and my sense of who I am as an individual. Like, I really just saw myself as one half of this relationship, and I think everyone kind of saw me that way because we had all the same mutual friends, and so anytime we'd be around friends or family or anything, like, everyone just knew the two of us, you know, together as a couple, as a duo. And not that that was, you know, his fault, obviously. I felt like we were two kids that got together, we were young, and we were together during a time in our life where we went through a lot of changes. We had to figure out a lot of stuff about our future, our lives, who we want to be, what we want to do. And it's hard to go through that stuff while you're in a relationship. And I feel like we kind of came out on the other end, and we ended up kind of going in different directions and just being two different people. I tried. I put in effort. I put in almost 8 years of effort. We both did. And I just feel like when you're not compatible with someone and when it's not right, it's not right. Had we gotten married and I decided to just stay with him forever, I know I would have been miserable. Not even because of him specifically, but just because of the fact that I never had an opportunity to be single and to be independent and on my own. You know, going through like your late teens and early 20s in a committed relationship is difficult. And it's not because, oh, well, I could have went out and partied and slept around and dated. No, but it's just, you know, every decision that I made about my future when I was in school and after graduating, it was all with him in mind, with our relationship in mind. Who knows how differently things would have went had I just been single and just only making decisions for myself. Going through a breakup, especially when you've been together for so long, is hard no matter what. But I think when you're the one like ending things and doing the breaking up, it's even harder because you know in your heart what you want, but you still love that person. Even if you're not in love with them anymore, you still love them and you care about them. And like, it literally kills you to see them hurting. And I'm not gonna lie, it took a long time for me to like move on and get over it. And that's why I never talked about it, honestly, on my channel, because it was just too hard. And I don't know, it was just weird. You know, like, that's someone that has been in your life, that's like family to you for so many years, and now they're not. I don't know. It was weird. I felt a lot of guilt too, and that made it really hard too because, you know, I was feeling all this guilt, and then I was like, well, wait, do I want to try again? Do I want to still be with him, or am I just feeling guilty? But as time went on, things got easier, and I was really lucky because at the time when we broke up, that was right before I started beauty school. And so I met a whole new group of people. I had a whole new group of friends. It was literally like starting a new chapter in my life. So it made it easier for me, I think, to move on because I had all of these new things happening. So yeah, I dated and I just really, really needed that. Like, I got back my sense of independence. I go anywhere I want now by myself, and I don't need someone to come with me or to drive me. Like, I just go on my own. It just helped me figure out who I am as just Sam, as just an individual whole person, not one half of a relationship. And it made me realize, okay, what traits are important to me in a partner? I really got to figure out, okay, what things are absolute deal breakers for me in a relationship? And then what things are things that I can compromise on or that I can deal with? What are things that like I really, really value in a relationship? And it was just nice to like be a single adult for the first time in my life. And I don't know, I really truly feel like this sounds kind of corny, but I feel like I fell back in love with myself. Actually, I came across a video like totally randomly in my suggestions. It was like, we broke up after 7 years. I was like, oh my God. So I clicked on it, and someone in the comments of that video said that there's a thing called the 7-year itch. I think it's a book or something. And supposedly 7 years is like the make it or break it point for relationships. And a lot of people break up after 7 years specifically, which I thought was so interesting. Like, that's such a random number, but I don't know. Supposedly that's the thing that happens. So it totally makes sense. So yeah, if you are going through something similar, don't feel guilty about it. I know that it sucks. It's a shitty situation and it's scary, but you have to put yourself first. You have to think like, okay, 20 years down the line, 30, 40 years, like, am I gonna regret my decision? Am I still gonna be unhappy? But yeah, I think that's basically everything. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Like I said, let me know what topics you'd like me to talk about in another like girl talk. If you've made it all the way to the end of this video and you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe before you go, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.